Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Kuat Transfer V2 here in the back of our 2020 Ford Explorer. So if you guys are looking for a way of transporting your two bikes nicely and neatly to your destination, highly recommend the Kuat Transfer V2. Why? I am a really big fan of this U-frame design. It makes it really easy to go ahead, grab your bikes, walk them in, set them in place, get them nice and cinched down. That way you have no trouble going ahead and making sure they get there without any dings, no messing around with them, which is great. It is going to get there nice and solid for yourself. Now, we are working on the 1.25" shank version here today. What that means for ourselves, we are going to be limited to a 40-pound weight capacity limit per bike. If you guys have a 2-inch hitch in your vehicles at home, do yourself a favor, grab the 2-inch version of this thing. That's going to bring the weight capacity of each bike up to 60 pounds, which is excellent and really starts taking full advantage of this U-frame design, as you can take your big old heavy bikes, walk them right up, then you're not reaching over, stressing out your back, maybe potentially hurting a knee, nothing like that. You can simply walk it in, drop it, and it'll hold itself neatly for itself, which I really like. Personally, the 1.25" version just seems to be a great thing if you have an 1.25" hitch, just a total waste if you have 2-inch hitch, in my opinion. So that's why I recommend to look at those 2-inch hitch versions. Now you guys are going to have a front tire hold, of course, on here. That's going to make it excellent for carbon frame bikes, and you're going to have no trouble with women's bikes, step-through bikes, or kids' bikes, as we don't have to worry about those pesky frame issues. On the other side here, too, for your back wheel, you do have this nice little rotating cradle. That makes it great for your varying wheelbases, of course. The strip itself is just a ratchet strip design, and a little lever is going to go ahead and release that. You do have a locking core right there in the end. That's excellent for taking your included cable lock, run it through both of your bikes, and right back in there to go ahead and make sure that your bikes stay attached to your carrier when you leave it unattended. Now, the big thing that's awesome about the Kuat Transfer for me is it actually can tilt away in this configuration too with your bikes on there. So if you had a second bike, you might have to reach through your triangle poke as well to go ahead and get this guy, but it does become really easy. Hit that guy with a foot, walk it down, and now I can go ahead, access the back here. That's going to let me have access to any of my cargo I might have back here, coolers, bike helmets, anything like that. You guys saw how close this gets on that handlebar. One thing I would say, if you do have extremely long handlebars, go ahead, throw them to your furthest position here. That's going to make it easier. Secondly, you might have seen I was just getting ready to kind of push that just a little bit, just in case. You have a little bit of leeway here. Now, let's not get too crazy. You don't want to damage our bikes or our carrier, but that can be a nice way of quickly allowing you to access here and get this out of the way. That way you can go ahead and have no trouble of getting that hatch open. To walk it up, all you got to do, simply walk it just like that. Really easy to do. I like how it just clips in for itself. Nice and secure. I'm not worried about it, and I don't have to break my back getting down to any pins or clips or anything, which is great. Well, to take this bike off takes no time at all either. I'd like to set out my arms to my side, allow myself access in there. Going to quickly release my back strip here on that rear wheel, and that brings us to our last hold on our bike. So let's make sure we're not allowing this to tilt into our vehicle or ourselves by holding onto it, making sure we have a good grip, and then we can go right to the ergonomic handle here, pop that button like so, push it out off to the side, and there we are, already ready to go, which is excellent. So it takes no time at all to get that off of there, and mounting it, like I said, very easy. You just simply, as you guys saw, walk that bike right there and then walk it off. Love how that U-frame works. Really nice, especially for your big old heavy bikes. I know a few times I've strained the back one too many times trying to get a bike on and off a bike rack. Now, a couple of clearances we want to keep in mind, or dimensions to keep in mind. A is going to be our clearance here on the ground. So that's going to be a big one. So from the back of the vehicle here to all the way to the end of the carrier, from the ground to the end of the carrier is putting you at 20 3/4 of an inch. Now, that's a very good distance. Just keep in mind, as those front wheels go up, the back will go down, and so will your hitch mounted accessories. So if you do have any very steep terrain, that's something to kind of watch. However, I think that's at a very good distance, and we shouldn't have too many issues at all. Now, another one we want to look at is going to be the length we're adding to the back of our vehicle. So from the back of the bumper of our Explorer here today to the very end of our carrier is going to be putting you at 35 1/4 of an inch from the back of your vehicle. Now, that's definitely adding quite a lot of room there, but we do have a way of quickly shortening it down. I'm going to simply walk right up, and instead of using my foot, I'm just going to use my hand, as there's no bike in my way. I can press that guy and walk it right up. It's going to lock in here and be very solid and sturdy in that position. One thing I really like, you're not going to be hearing this bouncing around, causing any kind of issue or auditory issues for you while you drive, and it's going to stay nice and unique, or nice and tight here on the vehicle. Definitely going to be nice to go ahead and pull this in the garage now, or at the very least give yourself some maneuverability. And we are working with, from the back of the bumper now to the very end, only 13 3/4 of an inch there. So about 20 inches being shaved down by bringing that in. very nice that we can go ahead and do that for ourselves. So really like how that works. Moving our way down to the inside though, here you guys can see we are working with our 1.25" shank as we mentioned earlier. And we do have our 2-inch sleeve converter here, allowing us to utilize our 2-inch hitch. Now you just have a simple alignment pin and clip in the back end here. What's really doing all the work is this little guy right on the front. So this is going to be our security device and our anti-rattle device. So as I tighten this with the included unique tool, that's going to go ahead and tighten the cam on the inside here, bringing this in line to one system, making for a nicer, smoother ride for you, yourself, and your bikes. And as you guys can see, that's all in line with our Explorer, taking all that road shake out, and that does a great job of really reducing any of the movement that your bike rack has. And of course, your bike's therefore on it. Overall, guys, I think the Kuat Transfer is just a go-to for a lot of people. If you want a nice, sleek, stylish design to go ahead and make sure you have a great hold on your two bikes, I don't think you can really beat it. There's something like the Yakima holdup is somewhat kind of decent, kind of in the same area. Personally, I think it just fails to deliver what this guy can. You get the really nice, unique U-frame design, allowing you to bring your bikes in with no trouble, and it just looks really good here on the back of the Explorer. One thing I really like about the Transfer, you guys aren't losing nearly as much as you would here in the backup camera. That's excellent. That way you can go ahead and see what's behind you here, you know, without any issue. So that's really cool when you get this up and folded. A lot of carriers are going to take up a lot of space here, and they're going to lose that visibility. So that's kind of one unique little pro for the Transfer, of course. Other than that, though, guys, I think it about does it for our look at the Kuat Transfer V2 here in the back of our 2020 Ford Explorer. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.